Today, we're breaking down a legal responsibility that is absolutely crucial for anyone providing care in California, your duty as a mandated reporter. Now, this isn't just a suggestion or a best practice. It's the law, and it's designed to protect the most vulnerable people in our communities. So let's walk through exactly what this means for you.
So picture this. You're at work, and you see something that just feels off. Maybe it's a bruise that doesn't quite match the story you're hearing, or a sudden worrying change in someone's personality. In that exact moment, you're more than just a caregiver. You're the first line of defense. The big question is, what does the law legally require you to do next?
All right, first things first, let's really nail down the foundation here. What is your specific role in all of this? Understanding this isn't just about following a rulebook. It's about understanding why your position is so incredibly important. So what is a mandated reporter officially? Well, according to the California Welfare and Institutions Code, it's someone who is legally required to report suspected abuse. And the key phrase there really is legally required. This isn't a choice you get to make. It's an obligation baked into the law.
You're probably asking, okay, so does this actually apply to me? Well, the law is written to be pretty broad. If you're providing direct care, if you work in a facility, or if you just have regular contact with the people your agency serves, then yep, the answer is yes. And this part is so important. It doesn't matter if you're a paid employee or a volunteer. Your legal duty kicks in the very moment you start. Knowing you have this duty is step one, but knowing what to actually look for, that's just as critical. So this next section is all about sharpening your observation skills so you can recognize those potential warning signs of harm. Abuse isn't just one single thing. It can show up in a lot of different ugly forms. We're talking about everything from physical harm, obviously, to things like neglect, financial scams, and constant emotional abuse. Just being aware that these different categories exist is the first step to spotting them.
Some of the most common signs are, of course, physical. These can be the more obvious things, right? Like bruises or cuts that have no good explanation, or maybe multiple injuries that look like they're in different stages of healing. But it can also be more subtle. Things like a sudden drop or gain in weight, or a noticeable decline in hygiene. The real key here is just to notice what seems out of place.
And hey, it's not just about what you can see on a person's body. You have to pay really close attention to their behavior. Are they suddenly withdrawn and depressed? Do they seem agitated or fearful around a specific person? These are huge red flags. You know the people you support better than most. Any sudden, unexplained shift in how they act is something you just can't afford to ignore.
And finally, take a look at the environment itself. Are their living conditions safe? Are they clean? Do they have basic things like food, heat, and water? Or look for signs of isolation. Is someone preventing them from seeing family or from using the phone? These are all powerful clues that can point to neglect or abuse.
Okay, so you've seen a potential sign. Something is bothering you. This brings us to the most critical part of this whole thing, making that decision to act. This is the moment where a lot of people freeze up, so let's make the legal requirement crystal clear.
Let's just tackle those hesitations head on, right? You might be thinking, but I'm not 100% sure. The law says you don't have to be. All you need is a reasonable suspicion. Or, what if you don't have the full story? Report anyway. And this one is huge. Even if your supervisor tells you not to report, your legal duty as an individual comes first. It overrides any internal policy or direction.
If you only remember one single thing from our time together, please make it this. Your job is to report, not to investigate. It's not on you to prove anything, to gather evidence, or to confront anybody. Your one and only responsibility is to pass on your suspicion to the proper authorities. Let them do the investigating.
Let me say that again because it is just that important. The legal standard is reasonable suspicion. It is not certainty. It is not absolute proof. The bar is set there intentionally to protect vulnerable people. So the rule of thumb is simple. When in doubt, make the report.
Okay, so we've covered the when and the why. Now let's get down to brass tacks. How do you actually make a report? This part is all about giving you a clear, step-by-step guide so you can feel confident when you have to act. The process itself is really just two mandatory steps. First, you have to make an immediate verbal report. That means picking up the phone and calling the right agency. That's APS for adults and CPS for kids. Then, second, you have to follow that call up with a written report. And pay attention to the deadlines here. You've got 2 working days for elder abuse, but a much tighter 36-hour window if you suspect child abuse.
When you make that call, it really helps to be prepared. You'll need to give them your info, the potential victim's name and location, and of course, the details of what you actually saw. The most important thing here is to stick to the facts. Just be objective. Describe what you saw, what you heard, and if you can, use direct quotes. Your goal is just to give a clear, factual account.
So finally, let's talk about what happens after you make that call. It's so important to know about the protections you have as a reporter and also the very serious consequences if you fail to act. This is really why your report matters so much.
The law doesn't just hand you this big responsibility without also giving you some powerful protections. As long as you make a report in good faith, meaning you genuinely suspect something is wrong, you have absolute immunity. You can't be sued, you can't be prosecuted, your identity is kept confidential, and it is illegal for your employer to fire you or punish you for it. The system is built to protect you so that you can protect others. Now, on the flip side, the consequences for failing to report are severe. We're talking about a misdemeanor crime. That can mean fines, and it can even mean jail time, especially if your failure to report results in someone getting seriously hurt or worse. This isn't just a suggestion. It's a legal mandate with some very serious teeth.
All right, so let's boil it all down into a quick cheat sheet. Do, report right away. Do, stick to the facts. And what don't you do? Don't try to investigate, and don't wait for more proof. If you can just keep these simple rules in your head, you'll always be doing the right thing, legally and ethically.
When it all comes down to it, it's really this simple. Making a report might take just a few minutes of your time. But for the person you're trying to protect, that simple act, well, that could make a lifetime of difference. It's a heavy responsibility, for sure, but it's also a chance to be a powerful, positive force for someone's safety. The only question left is, are you ready?